What happens after the good guys win? After the hero saves the day? After love triumphs all? Or after the happy ending never happens at all?
Oh, God.
This is the denouement, a story's last chance to tie up loose ends, bring closure to the conflict, and allow the theme to resonate. And it might just be the most important part of the entire story. This is What is Denouement? Remember to subscribe and click the bell to stay in the loop with more filmmaking videos like this. We will be spoiling the following movies.
Cool. I really liked Dress to Kill. Until the third act denouement. That's not how it's pronounced.
Denouement is the final outcome of a story where the main conflicts of the narrative are concluded. From French, denouement literally translates as untying. If we imagine the characters, obstacles, and conflicts becoming entangled during a story, the denouement is the process of untying all those elements. For most stories, it is an essential aspect of storytelling, and every storyteller handles it differently. But some of the most successful examples do three things: conclude the conflict, deliver the resolution, and recall the theme. These criteria should be assessed on a case-by-case basis. Not every denouement provides all three. Some provide more of one element over the others, and some films can provide all of these without a denouement. Let's dive into a textbook example of denouement. Martin Scorsese's The Departed. This is your official spoiler warning, and make sure the kiddos aren't watching. Graphic content lies ahead. In order to thoroughly untie the ending of Scorsese's Boston mob epic, let's do a rapid-fire recap of the screenplay by William Monahan. Frank Costello is an Irish mob boss who grooms Colin Sullivan to become a rat inside the Massachusetts State Police.
When I was your age, they would say we could become cops or criminals. Today, what I'm saying is this: when you're facing a loaded gun, what's the difference? It's my boy.
At the same time, State Trooper Billy Costigan is recruited to go undercover inside Costello's organization. As both men attempt to learn the other's identity, they fall in love with the same woman, Madeline. Eventually, Costello is killed, and Costigan discovers Sullivan's identity. The climax is a tense standoff that ends in Costigan's death. Everything after this is the denouement, which focuses on what happens to Sullivan in the aftermath. Let's see how it works with our three criteria. First, all the major conflicts are concluded, and we see how the characters are affected by it all. Sullivan appears to have emerged from the situation as the victor. With Costello and Costigan dead, his role as a spy for the mob remains a secret. Second, it provides resolution. At the funeral, Sullivan realizes there may have been something between Madeline and Costigan. His last-ditch effort for reconciliation fails.
What about the baby?
And just when we think he will get away with it all, vengeance is waiting.
Okay.
Third, it recalls the theme.
What?
Both Sullivan and Costigan are driven to overcome their social status.
I mean, you move in, you're upper class by about Tuesday.
And they pursue this by taking on false identities. And even though Sullivan got his dream, it cost him everything. We are left with a final shot of two symbols: the Massachusetts State House that Sullivan regards as the pinnacle of success,
Forget it. Your father was a janitor. His son's only a cop.
and a scurrying rat, the lowly animal we associate with deception, and a motif in the film.
Smell a rat.
With a page and a half of script and 4 minutes of screen time, The Departed uses a textbook application of denouement to conclude its story. But there are many alternatives and exceptions that might fit your story better. There are a vast array of ways to end a screenplay.
I'm finished.
Certain genres tend to favor certain types of denouement. Romantic comedies and children's films often have definitive conclusions with satisfying resolutions. Horror movies typically end with a suggestion that the antagonistic forces still remain. Bringing 100% resolution can sometimes feel unnatural and forced. To avoid this, writers can leave some conflict unresolved. In Hell or High Water, brothers Toby and Tanner become bank robbers to avoid foreclosure on their family home, which sets Texas Ranger Marcus Hamilton onto their trail. In the process, Tanner and Marcus's partner are killed. During the denouement, the main conflict is resolved as Toby pays off the mortgage.
Just in the nick of time, too. What are the odds?
The theme is recalled.
I've been poor my whole life. Told my parents, their parents before them. It's like a disease. Passing from generation to generation becomes a sickness. That's what it is.
And there is some resolution.
But not my boys. Not anymore.
But there is clearly unfinished business between Toby and Marcus to be settled in the future.
Ready to be done with this.
You'll never be done with it no matter what. It's going to haunt you, son, for the rest of your days. But you won't be alone. It's going to haunt me, too.
If you stop by, maybe I'll give you peace.
Maybe. Maybe I'll give it to you.
Another option is to provide zero resolution.
Can I help you? No.
Bucking the trend of the typical crime thriller, Zodiac ends without an arrest and the killer still out there. Instead of providing answers, other writers will use the denouement to add more questions. While the main conflict in The Shining is resolved, these final shots force us to question everything. Was Jack always the caretaker of the Overlook like it was previously suggested?
You've always been the caretaker.
Sometimes writers opt to skip the denouement completely. Midsommar ends in the middle of the climax, but the final shot suggests that Danny's story has found resolution. And then there are those exceptions that provide no resolution but use the denouement specifically to reflect on the theme. Inside Llewyn Davis begins and ends with the same scene, with Llewyn being beaten up for heckling a fellow performer.
You sit there in the audience last night yelling your crap.
Oh, for Christ's sake, you yell stuff, man. It's a show.
You sit there in the audience last night.
By bookending the film like this, the Coen brothers prioritize the theme over any sort of traditional narrative resolution. Until he recognizes his faults, Llewyn is doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. What other films have a great denouement? Share your favorites in the comments below. Now that we've covered a few ways to end a screenplay, it's time to start writing. It's free to sign up for StudioBinder screenwriting software. We've got new content every week on a wide range of filmmaking topics. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to enable notifications to find out what we do next. We've arrived at the denouement of this video. We hope you found it resolute.